Welcome to Reparenting Daily, your free daily guide for inner child healing and repairing the relationship with yourself. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine and is divided into 3 sections. The first is the daily reading, the second is a discussion of the reading, followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is peaceful binaural beats meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you could join us on this journey of self-expansion. If this is your first time here, welcome. As a celebration of passing episode 700, I've opened a free membership tier for the Patreon community so you can access additional resources and join the weekly Zoom calls for free. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now and that so many people are really struggling. My hope here is to still encourage others to continue the work on reparenting and to offer a free community where people can come together and do that. I'd also like to thank all of you who've been along on the journey so far. Just as a reminder, this is a free podcast, but you can support the project by purchasing the Reparenting Daily Journal, where you can follow us along all year. This 333-page journal gives you extra insight and resources for each week, and also provides space for you to keep your notes. Another way to support the podcast is to purchase the Fairy Tales for Reparenting series, volumes 1 through 3. This collection organizes famous and obscure fairy tales from around the world into the 3 phases of the hero's journey. While you might think that fairy tales are for kids, I'd like to challenge you. These stories contain profound truths and lessons carried down over millennia that we can use in our reparenting journey. It's a fun way to reconnect with your inner child. Each volume comprises 10 fairy tales. They include an analysis section to help you dive deeper into the message, as well as journal prompts and space to reflect on the story's meaning in your life. Lastly, you can also support the project by taking a paid Patreon subscription, by purchasing the books on the website, or by donating via Buy Me a Coffee. You can find all this information on the Support Us section of the website. So now, with these announcements out of the way, let's dive into today's practice. Today, we're going to be listening to a portion of a TED Talk entitled The Skill of Using Your Creativity to Process Your Emotions by Donovan Moore. As always, you can find the link in the show notes. We're just going to listen to a portion of this today because I want to encourage you to click on the link and to look at it in its entirety. It's a great lesson because this week, by the way, we're in the month of May, and the theme for this month is emotional regulation. We're in week 3, which is the 15th until the 21st. And the theme for this week is expressing emotions healthily. And so one of the outlets that we can use is creativity. Creativity is tongue twister there. It is a much broader concept than people might realize. When you hear creativity, you think of artists, you think of paintings, of sculptures, of musicians, of people who knit or make clothes, for example. You think of these kind of people as artists, as creative. But creativity is much broader than our preconceptions. Creativity, we are creative beings to begin with. That is the nature of a human being, a feeling creating being. We are here to create, to express ourselves. And creation is much broader than you might realize. For example, creation can be, of course, as we said, the traditional art forms, music, painting, drawing, doodling. But creativity is also, for example, cooking. You are literally bringing something new into existence. Okay? You can even say that relationships are creative expression because of the way that you behave, the way that you interact and talk to a person, the way that you respond to a person. These are ways of relating. As we've discussed that phrase before, ways of relating to other people. This is an art form. And of course, yes, it does get into the questionable topic of influence, manipulation, and these kinds of things like that. Not always with a negative intention, but we are energy beings, and our ability to influence energy is, in fact, the definition of creation. Anything that you do that influences your energy is an act of creation. Some people, for example, use their creativity as a way to release their emotions. That's why I've selected this TED Talk, because he's beginning to give us a framework of how to understand this, how to open your mind, and how to become comfortable and grounded with your skill set in this process. Because it is something that's so valuable, and expression will really change your life. People who are in the process of reparenting normally have a lot of backed up emotions, so there's a lot to release, and creativity is a powerful way to do that and to reclaim agency over your life. Creativity is a way to release, to express, and it gives you an opportunity to be seen and hopefully held. Creativity is whatever you want to make it. Many people might have high expectations of themselves to be a Leonardo da Vinci, but no one's asking that of you. The simple act of you influencing energy is a creation. Whether that is making food, building relationships, playing piano, or writing a song or a play or a book. All of these are acts of expression. And it's so important that we open the floodgates and allow ourselves to be fully. Creation allows us to connect with ourselves and others more effectively. And it allows us to shed emotional cycles that have been stuck on repeat for far too long. So without further ado, let's go ahead and listen to the TED Talk.
Hi, I'm Don, and I'd like to share a skill with you that can allow you to change the form of your memories. You up for it? Yeah. All right, good. So, it's called creative processing. You probably already know what creative processing is, but for the learners in the back, creative processing is using your creativity to process your experiences and your emotions. So, I'm not here to teach you how to be creative today, but I think that I can offer you a framework to help you get into being creative. I don't think that you should take advice from people who say that they can teach you how to be creative. I think that when you dive in and you really embrace your own creativity, there are just so many wonderful things that can come from it. So, as a student of creativity, what I can offer you today is my story, a framework, and an example. Sound good? Yeah. All right, great. So, just figuring out how to use a clicker. So, I started creative processing when I was 12. As you might have noticed, I picked up creative processing to impress the ladies. Double plaid, never goes bad. All jokes aside, creative processing has helped me in so many ways. It's helped me to navigate grade school bullying. It's helped me to navigate first loves. It's helped me to navigate some of the hard moments in my life, like my grandparents passing. On the flip side, though, creativity has also been an amazing way to embellish some of my best experiences. And let me tell you a little bit about that. When you dive into your creativity, right, you really have an ability to change something within yourself, right? Adopting a creative mindset allows you to see the world as little moments of opportunities to be creative, right? It makes everything colorful. It makes the whole world come alive. So, I want to get into the framework and tell you a little bit along the way about how I've used creative processing. So, when you first get ready to start using creative processing, the first thing that you're going to do is just pause and recognize a moment. Notice how you feel. Notice what made you feel that way, right? Notice your breath and letting the tension in your muscles relax. Recognize a moment. This alone, if you take anything away from my talk, is probably one of the most important things that I've learned how to do in my entire life. I mean, just think about how happiness can be fleeting because we never stop to recognize a moment when we're happy. And how pain can feel like it lasts forever because we never pause, notice it, and let it pass. To hold on to it, right? This is the power of pausing and recognizing a moment, recognizing where you're at in a moment. So, the second thing that you want to do, you know how to recognize your emotions, right? The next thing that you want to do is explore some ways to express them creatively. And I hope you like the emojis down on the bottom. I took some time carefully selecting those for you, just to spark some ideas into what you could get into. This could look like writing, songwriting, which is my jam. It could look like sculpting or recycle art, or someone yesterday mentioned to me comedy, right? Anything that can help you directly process that emotion and work through it, right? So when you explore your mediums, you might find that certain mediums allow you to express different parts of yourself in different ways, right? For example, let's say a pet of mine passed away, right? I may write a really happy song about my pet bounding through the yard and smiling at me. Whereas if I were to use story writing as my medium, right? Well, I tend to be a little bit more serious when I write. So I might touch on some of my grief or how much I miss them, right? So in this way, your mediums can kind of pull different parts of you out of you. So I'm a big proponent of exploring your mediums. I think that it's wonderful to kind of always be checking out how you can express yourself in an interesting and new way. It keeps creative processing fresh and novel. So you recognize how you're feeling, and you have some things that you're comfortable with doing to express it, right? Step 3 is where the magic happens. This is where you actually creative process. Transform that experience that you're feeling. This is where you can take that experience of just having graduated and getting your diploma, or that awkward feeling after you had an awkward moment with your boss, or the thought of that person that you love. And you can transform it into something new, something that you gift to your future self. So you're probably wondering, how do I be creative? Set aside time. Dedicate time to your emotions, to your mediums. Doesn't need to be a lot of time, but just recognize how you're feeling. Pick a thing to change that feeling into something else, and roll, baby. So what could possibly come after step 3, right? You're transforming. You've already kind of processed the motion, right? Step 4 is a recommendation. It's the trusted process. I had to. I'm from Philadelphia. And for those of you that don't know, our trusted process is the mantra of our basketball team. I think it's genius, though, because, I mean, think about it. You could win the championship or lose, and it inspires you still to get up the next day and practice and try again, right? It's kind of an amazing thing. And this is where we kind of have to be a little bit bold about how we define creativity and art. We're calling art just the process part that may never feel finished to someone else. I think the best example of this, right, is the fact that I have thousands of songs on my phone, right, in my voice memos. And each of those songs, I mean, they might be just some lyrics, they might be a song that's half-baked, they might be just some chords that I was really resonating with that day, that captured a feeling that I had. But what's amazing is that those songs, those just little memories that I've captured, have already done their job. Just by me sitting down to capture and process a feeling, I've used this process to heal and to send myself a gift in the future. And what I mean by sending myself a gift in the future is really that when I listen to one of these voice memos, it's on my phone, and let's say I wrote it years ago, I may have even forgot what that feeling felt like. But when I listen to that little note or that little insight that I left for myself, it reminds me of life can be, how different all of our experiences can be.
Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this TED Talk. As always, click on the link in the show notes to listen to the rest of it. He has one last secret tip that I'm not going to give away now, but I do encourage you to check it out. And if you simply Google that, there are a lot of videos where artists are talking about their different ways that they are able to express themselves in their art. There are even certain techniques, you could say, to express certain emotions. For example, I'm primarily a musician, and So there are certain chord progressions. If you start in a diminished chord or and then resolve in a major chord, you can create a certain feeling of resolution, of contentment after some kind of conflict, right? So there are different kind of combinations of chords and notes, scales, modalities that you can use to create and convey a certain emotion, right? And same for the artist. Drawing a thick line will have a different effect than a thin line, right? All of these different techniques and ways, if you really want to get down to the details of it, there are so many different ways and techniques for each different type of creative expression, creative outlet that allows you to convey a certain emotion or intensity level. And it's really neat when you begin to take time to learn, to grow your skills, to learn how to be more creative and expressive in this way. Now, that's not saying that there are defined rules, like to express sadness, you must draw in this way. No, that would take the individuality out of it. That would remove the you from it, from the creativity. So it's not that there are, absolute definitions and methods that you must follow. It's more of a guidance to help you get creative. And so with this TED Talk, I hope that you will have began to see and to understand the value of creativity. I hope that it has allowed you to expand your understanding of what being a creative being actually means. Excuse me. I had my lunch, so I'm burping a little bit today. Creativity is the most important thing that we can do. Again, it's not something that's expensive. It can be, but it's really something that's free that we have access to at any time. As we turn to some journal prompts or questions for today, number one, what was your primary mode of creation or self-expression as a child? Think back to those early years. What did you really enjoy doing? When were you lost in time, so to speak? Was it when you were drawing, playing music, running around outside? Or perhaps something different? Number two, how often, perhaps you can think of this in how many times per week, do you consciously engage in creative pursuits? Taking into account this expanded definition and understanding of creativity. And number three, what are some ways that you've always dreamed of being creative, but perhaps just haven't had the time to develop the skills yet? Maybe you've always wanted to learn how to play guitar or how to cook a specific type of cuisine. Take some time to uncover that and think about putting in place a plan to allow those skills to flourish so that you can flourish as well. That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself and please do be well. Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please find a place where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you most comfortable today. Just take some time to listen to yourself. Next, be sure that you're taking time to be with your breath and to connect more fully with your body. Don't be disturbed or overwhelmed by your thoughts. Simply allow them to pass. Just observe them. Do not engage with your thoughts. Only be mindful of them passing, as if they are leaves drifting down top river. Use this time to connect with yourself, whatever time of day you are listening to this. Namaste.